If you've ever moved into a new neighborhood, you'll know how daunting it can be at first. But somebody has to be first to say hello. Soon, you get to know each other. You have good times and create good memories. And before you know it, you're trusted friends.
And that's the way it should be. Hi, I'm Guy Russo. Welcome to McDonald's. I know you're probably feeling a bit nervous right now, but I know exactly how you feel. I felt that same way when I started as a crew person nearly 30 years ago. Working at McDonald's can be very rewarding. It's an environment where you will work with and meet some great people. You'll be given the best training in the country, and the experience you'll get on a day-to-day basis is held in high esteem in the wider business community. I am proud of what our company's achieved in Australia over the last 3 decades. We must preserve and nurture these achievements, but we can only do this by moving forward and ensuring we keep our business relevant. You will play a key role in this. So what is it that we're all working together to achieve? Our goal and vision is to be the world's best quick service restaurant experience. To achieve this, we all need to work together. We need to ensure that our food that we serve is hot and fresh. We need to delight our customers with our service, and we need to do this in a restaurant that has the highest standards of cleanliness. By doing these things, we provide outstanding value to our customers. Quality, service, cleanliness and value, or as we refer to it as QSC&V, is what you, I and the other 55,000 employees strive to deliver to our customers every day. So welcome to McDonald's family, and I wish you all the best for the future.
At McDonald's, we want every customer to feel like a welcome guest, who want to come back to our restaurants again and again. That's why hospitality at McDonald's isn't just about satisfying our customers, it's about surprising and delighting them.
There you go, sir. Have a lovely day.
When you work for McDonald's, you're already one step ahead, because the McDonald's brand is one of the true super brands of the world. It's got us where we are today, and we must use it as one of our most valuable assets.
Things that make you go, All right.
The McDonald's brand gives us a distinctive identity that indicates the promise we make to our customers.
When people come into our restaurants, not just buying a hamburger, they're buying a total brand experience. A hamburger is a hamburger. A brand is who you are and what you stand for.
There are 2 aspects of customer service. The procedural side ensures the fast delivery of great tasting food in a clean, safe environment. But the personal side is how we communicate with our customers. This is the most important part of the McDonald's experience. Everything about McDonald's reflects our youthful spirit. Kids feel welcome, families are at home, and grown-ups can feel like kids again. Think about all the really great fun times you've had with your family and friends. That's what we want people to experience when they visit McDonald's. And what makes people feel special? In the words of the customer, I'm treated as an individual. I'm made to feel important. They care about me. If we do all this, plus deliver great tasting food in a clean, safe environment, we're well on the way to delivering an exceptional eating experience. And the smile is the proof that we've been successful.
It's up to all of us to deliver that promise. After all, we are the faces of hospitality at McDonald's.
If you're friendly, people are usually friendly back, and that can make you feel really good.
It's important to be neat and clean. I mean, that's the way you'd want someone to look serving food to you.
Here's your coffee refill, sir.
Thank you very much. Hey, that's a nice horse. What's his name?
His name's Toffee.
Oh, yeah? Do you have a horse in real life?
No,
So why'd you call him Toffee?
because it's toffee colour.
Yeah, he is toffee coloured.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a robot. I mean, you don't talk to an older customer the way you might talk to a kid.
Sometimes customers need that little bit extra help.
When you see an opportunity to help someone, it can make all the difference. We call that a magic moment. Eye contact is important because it shows we're sincere.
Making eye contact is friendlier. It lets the customer know I'm there for them.
Customers can easily pick up on a fake smile. But a sincere smile, combined with eye contact and good posture, communicates who we are to our customers.
It's not hard to figure out what makes people smile.
You can smile at anyone in the restaurant. And it might sound like a cliche, but smiles really are free.
When communicating with people, the message that comes across consists of 50% body language, 40% tone of voice, and only 10% is the actual content of what we say. A customer's perception of total value isn't just based on price. Think of times when you were the customer and how you felt when you had been served. The end result of a service experience is a feeling. If you can make a customer's experience better than they expect, you've added value. The key to making good customer service great is to think like a customer. What would you want if you were a customer? As an employee of McDonald's, you have the responsibility to do whatever it takes to deliver customer delight. Some customers have special needs, but they're all different. The way we deal with diversity and how we treat each and every one of them is important in maintaining excellent customer service. Following our operational guidelines will ensure consistency and quality, but it's your attitude and behaviour and how you talk to customers that makes the experience special.
People don't always remember exactly what you said or did, but they'll always remember exactly how you made them feel.
If you don't believe you can make a difference, consider this. 80% of our customers' experience depends on our attitude. Our attitude is made up of how we're feeling, perhaps influenced by what's happening at home, at school, or whatever's happening in our lives. We all have the ability to influence our attitude, so it doesn't negatively affect our behaviour or our customers.
Any job can be boring if you decide it's boring. But if you've got a positive attitude, it makes the world of difference. You just need to be there for the customer.
Working in McCafe, there are more opportunities to talk to people. I usually ask people how they are, what sort of day they've been having. Yeah, we talk about all sorts of things. Coffee to weather to, you know, what we're both up to on the weekend. I find if you remember a regular customer's name, they really appreciate it.
When you start at McDonald's, you might feel a little uncertain at first, but you'll soon become a trusted member of the team. You'll find the more you put in, the more you'll get out. And the more experienced you get, the more confident and comfortable you'll be with customers. You'll be able to totally be there and be fully focused on each customer. Delivering the brand promise is the surest way to develop customer loyalty. Delighted customers not only come back again and again, they also bring their friends. So just like the new kid on the block, we should welcome every customer like an important guest and make them feel that McDonald's is not just a good neighbour, but also a friend they can trust. We want McDonald's to be a fun place for our customers and for our employees. That's the McDonald's experience.
Headed for his second checkered flag.
You're probably wondering, what has a race car got to do with safety at McDonald's? Well, it's not as strange as it may seem. The truth is safety. Whether on a racetrack or here at McDonald's, it's really all about hazard management. That is identifying, assessing and controlling hazards in order to prevent incidents. Now, where I come from, what that means is pretty obvious. Here in your store, it may not be quite as obvious, but make no mistake, the consequences can be just as serious. Hazards are probably best defined as anything that is likely to cause harm or damage to someone. That includes anything from slippery floors or damaged electrical cables to hot oil or cleaning chemicals. The key with all these is that we fix hazards to prevent incidents. Incidents like slips and falls, burns and fires, and injuries from lifting can all be prevented. All you have to do is follow the tips you're about to hear. Let's have a look at some of the hazards in your workplace. You don't have to be travelling at 160 kilometres an hour to injure yourself in a slip, trip or fall. Floors can be an unforgiving surface, even from your own height. Like me, you may have once associated shiny with clean when it comes to floors, but the truth is that at McDonald's the opposite is true. The floors here are designed with a matte or dull finish. If they're shiny, they're slippery and greasy and dangerous. McDonald's has a special product for cleaning away the grease and grime that can build up on the floors. It's called McD Floor Care and is designed so that there is no need to rinse or use a second mop. It's important to only ever use this product and not to try variations. While we're on the subject of mopping the floors, there's a right and wrong way to do that. This, the right way, will not only make the job easier and more effective, but protect very important assets, your shoulders and back. The key points are: 1. Use a figure-8 motion. 2. Avoid twisting your back or shoulders. And 3. Work with an easy reach. Of course, always use the caution sign, keep an eye out for customers and never leave cleaning materials unattended. Okay, so here we are in the grill area, the engine room if you like, of the McDonald's store. It may seem obvious, but it's worth mentioning that the aisles around the grill and fryer are not the place to leave anything, and that includes cleaning equipment. Trips and slips are bad news anywhere, but here, well, you get the picture. The final point about trips and slips is something I can relate to: your shoes. Like tyres for me, they provide your only contact with the floor, hopefully anyway. And it's vital that they don't give way, especially when you're cornering. So there really is only one option, and that is a shoe with a non-skid sole. Gym shoes and sneakers have their place, but it isn't here. So give them a break, leave them at home. Now to hot surfaces and hot oil. And while I don't want to overplay the connection between your business and mine, here again we find common ground. The key to working safely here around things like grills or vats is working together as a team, and just like my pit crew, looking out for one another as well as yourself. That means always using the right utensils and putting them back in their proper place, remembering that just because it doesn't look hot doesn't mean it isn't, and taking extra care to avoid any splashing when placing product into the hot oil. I'm sure most of you have heard of the saying that oil and water don't mix. Well, not only is it true, but hot oil and water make for a very dangerous combination. So it's important that you never allow water to drop into the vat. If you need any indication of the genuine hazard that hot oil is, then the safety gear that must, without exception, be worn when filtering or transporting it tells its own story. Hazard management here includes things like making sure that there's nothing placed on top of the fryer stacks that may fall into the oil, ensuring filters are firmly locked in place, and always checking the vat covers are correctly placed over the vats when they're not in use and when you're working above them, such as when you're removing filters. Being the engine room, as it were, of the restaurant, the likelihood is that if there's going to be a fire in the store, it will be here. The first thing to remember in the case of a fire is that you have to act quickly. And the first thing to do is to call out for the manager and then listen and obey their instructions. In the case of a fire at the grills and fryers, most McDonald's stores have installed an automatic extinguisher system and all are equipped with appropriate fire extinguishers. Only trained personnel should use these portable fire extinguishers and operate the Ansell system on the grills and fryers. In the event of a fire, call the manager. If other measures are not effective in extinguishing the fire, the Ansell system, as it is known, is very effective. To activate the Ansell system, pull the handle located at the side of the grill or fryer. Extinguishing material will then be released from within the hood of the equipment. Like most hazards, identify it early and half the battle is won. If you notice a gas odour or find damaged electrical fittings or equipment, tell your manager immediately. The hazard log is a vital part of hazard management, and it is important that you take the time to learn how to fill it out correctly. For a detailed description of how to use the hazard log, watch the special section at the end of this video. Before we leave this area for the moment, a word about steam. Steam will burn very quickly and severely, so be especially careful with any operation that involves it. The cleaning products in your store are no stronger than the ones used in your own home, and are safe when used according to manufacturer's instructions. But even some home cleaning products can cause harm if not used according to directions. So the way to avoid incidents with cleaning products is to know how to handle them. They should always be stored away from paper and food products and only ever used correctly. The labels on most cleaning products in McDonald's stores have all the appropriate information on where to use them, why they are considered hazardous, how to handle them with safety, and what to do if something does go wrong. Like most safety aspects, it's really about using your head. Secondary containers must be McDonald's approved, with the name of the cleaning product, any hazardous warnings, mixing instructions, and first aid information printed on them. The business you're in means you'll be doing some lifting or moving things around. Before lifting or moving anything, think about it. Do you really have to lift it to move it? Can you move it on a trolley? Is it easy to hold? How much does it weigh? Most boxes at McDonald's weigh less than 16 kilograms. Make sure you know the weight before moving anything. You may not be able to safely lift or move some items at work. If in doubt, ask your manager. No matter how much you lift, there's a right and wrong way to do it. You may need to move the load closer before lifting it. Getting close to the load. If the load is placed low, place your feet apart for balance. Relax your knees and lower your body by bending at the knees. Lower your head and take a firm, comfortable hold on the load. Then raise your head and lift by straightening your knees, but not all the way. Avoid locking the knees. Carry the load close to your body. And if you need to turn, move your feet and turn before walking. Don't twist your body. Just apply the same principles in reverse when setting down the load. Reaching is another area for care. Always use a ladder or a step stool when reaching for things beyond a comfortable height. Before mounting the ladder, make sure it is safely and stably positioned, fully extended, and with the locking brackets in place. And only ever use a non-conductive ladder when working on or near electrical equipment. When climbing up or down, always face the ladder and never ever stand or sit on the top two steps. When reaching, avoid twisting your body and overreaching. Both can result in injury to yourself or to someone around you. In the grill and fry areas, make sure you can see what you're reaching for, because there is every chance it could be hot. Not that anything we've talked about hasn't been serious, but this one is a biggie: electricity. The thing is, with 240 volts, you rarely get a second chance. And when you think that some of the equipment is what they call three-phase, that's 415 volts and big amps, you really can't take any chances. You must visually check equipment for damage before using it. Power leads must be smooth and free of cuts or fraying, and all operating switches must be in good working condition. Before moving or cleaning any piece of electrical equipment, the power must be isolated. Check with your manager how to do this the right way for each piece of equipment. If you're in any doubt, don't touch it. Call for your manager. As they say, a dumb question is better than a tragic mistake. If while you're cleaning you find a syringe, or for that matter, broken glass, don't pick it up. Send for the manager and they will dispose of it with the appropriate safety equipment. There is one other thing you should make a point to know about, and that is the health and safety toolbox. Now, it won't help you to change a tyre or fix a faulty carburetor, but what it does have are various tools designed for a McDonald's store, such as inspection checklists and written policies. This has been an overview of what you need to know. The key things to remember are to follow all SOCs, store policies and procedures, and report all incidents or injuries, no matter how slight, to the manager. That includes near misses. keep work areas clean and tidy, follow emergency procedures if required, and report all hazards to a manager, and record them in the hazard log. And don't get involved in any kind of practical joke in the store. Safety really is about using your head, keeping your eyes open and taking care, knowing the emergency exits in case of evacuation, and listening to your manager. Every store has a safety committee to look at the issues within your store. See your manager if you want to get involved or have any questions. You really are responsible, legally in fact, for helping to maintain safety at work, just as your manager has a responsibility of providing you with a safe workplace and a safe store for customers. What that means is, it's a two-way street. McDonald's wants you to go home as happy and as healthy as when you came in, if not better.
Position, 3 starts, 3 wins. The kid is the champ. Ray Lowndes comes across the line.
Electrical safety is important to all of us here at McDonald's. In your day-to-day work at our restaurants, you'll be using electrically powered equipment. Equipment such as the coffee machines, grills, toasters, and the fry vats. Indeed, imagine our lives at McDonald's without electricity. As a member of the McDonald's team, you have a vital role to play at your store to protect you and your workmates against the hazards of electricity. We want you to understand the importance of working safely with electricity and how to manage the risks involved. By now, you've probably discovered our restaurants are pretty busy places.
30 seconds, thank you.
That's why we focus on workplace safety and electrical safety in particular. After all, we want to make sure our restaurants are safe and we manage the risks to give you a great experience on your shift.
This is the first section of the electrical isolation video for crew and managers to review. Always be aware that your restaurant has hazards. One of these is electricity. Exposure to electricity can be extremely dangerous. Misuse of electricity can result in fire, explosion, or serious injury such as electric shock, burns, and in some cases, death. An electric shock affects the body when a current is applied through an entry point. As the electricity enters a body, it makes the person part of an electrical circuit. This means that current flows through the body until it reaches Earth. When the current passes through the body, it affects the way muscles and nerves work. Our muscles work by our own electrical impulses that cause them to contract and relax. If an electrical current is applied, it affects our body's normal way of functioning. This is why electricity is such a serious hazard. Imagine if current enters the body at the hand and exits at the foot. It has passed through most of the body. The factors that will change the effect of an electric shock are the length of the current path from entry to exit point, the length of time and magnitude of the current, skin resistance, especially whether the skin is wet or moist, and the health of the person. This means that the effect that electricity has on a person may vary. In other words, you can't judge electricity. It must be treated with extreme caution at all times. An electrical current flowing through the body can cause muscle spasms and electrical burns, but it can also cause uncoordinated contraction of the heart, called fibrillation, and respiratory failure, where breathing stops. It can even lead to cardiac arrest, where the heart stops beating. A fatal electric shock is called electrocution. We want to ensure that you do not receive an electric shock, and this is why we have procedures for isolating equipment in your store. It is very important that you understand these procedures to keep you and your workmates safe. Why do we need to isolate? Well, electrical isolation involves disconnecting the electrical supply to the equipment. If done properly, isolation will prevent electric shock. Let's have a look at the tools you will find in your store that can be used for electrical isolation. First, some pieces of equipment, such as grills, have isolation switches located close by. When necessary, these will be turned to the off position. Some isolation switches can be locked to that position with a chained or tied "Do Not Operate" tag. These switches signal that the equipment has been isolated for a purpose and that the switches are to be kept off until safe to turn back on. Only the person who turned the isolation switch off can turn it back on. Your store has an electrical isolation kit. You will find this kit located next to or inside the switchboard. The kit contains clamps and two types of tags. Let's have a look at these tags.
The yellow tag?
The yellow tag says, "Caution, do not operate." The reason this tag would have been attached to a circuit breaker is to move, clean or perform planned maintenance on a particular piece of equipment when it is isolated. If you see one of these yellow tags, do not remove it. Only the person who attached the yellow tag or a manager is permitted to remove it. You will see the name of that person on the tag along with the date they attached the tag. The other tag is red and white and says, "Danger, do not operate." These tags are tied to faulty equipment and may also be attached to the circuit breaker to indicate that equipment and the circuit breaker are not to be used. Only a service technician can remove the red and white tag when it is safe to do so, and the equipment or power outlet no longer needs to be isolated. Let's look at the clamps. Your store will have either red or orange clamps, or both, depending on the number and style of your switchboard. The clamps are placed on the circuit breaker in the switchboard. This means that the circuit breaker is in the off position and that the equipment has been isolated for a purpose. Do not remove the clamps under any circumstances. Only managers or technicians can attach or remove clamps. Crew must not remove clamps. Your store has been fitted with residual current devices, or RCDs, at the switchboard. But how does an RCD work? An RCD protects against stray electricity or earth leakage. If the RCD detects an imbalance in the amount of electricity going into and coming out of a circuit, it will cause one or more circuit breakers to trip. RCDs are designed to operate at low currents to preserve safety. However, they are not fail-safe and you must still isolate equipment. Let's learn how to isolate electrical equipment. First, turn off the equipment at the on-off switch. Or, if for instance the equipment has to be moved, isolate it at the isolation switch by turning to the off position. Then position a yellow "Caution, do not operate" tag on or over the switch to indicate that the equipment is isolated. Or you may need to turn it off at the power point if you can reach. Pull the lead by the body of the plug. Make sure it is off the floor and away from hot or sharp surfaces, grease and water. Attach a yellow "Caution, do not operate" tag with your name and date to the end of the plug if it is not within your sight while completing your task. If you cannot isolate the equipment by unplugging the power lead or turning the isolation switch off, you must inform a manager who will clamp and tag the circuit breaker on the switchboard, then inform you that it is safe to move or clean that piece of equipment. As crew, you must not, under any circumstances, go to the switchboard to turn off circuit breakers. The switchboards are a manager-only area. Ask a manager if you need help. So let's put electrical isolation together. Here's an example to follow. You have been asked to complete a planned maintenance task on the heat treat machine. You turn it off at the on-off switch and want to ensure that it is fully isolated. But you can't reach the power lead without moving the heat treat machine, and there is no isolation switch. Stop right there. Ask your manager to clamp the circuit breaker and tag with a yellow "Caution, do not operate" tag at the switchboard. When the manager gives you the go-ahead, and it is safe to do so, you may begin your cleaning. Now that you have finished conducting planned maintenance, inform the manager and they will remove the clamp and tag and re-energize the equipment. If you identify faulty equipment, inform the manager immediately.
Toast is not working. I think it might be faulty.
Faulty, I'd better isolate it.
And if a hazard exists, record it in the hazard log. If you see a red and white "Danger, do not operate" tag on a piece of equipment or on a circuit breaker, don't use that equipment until a service technician has removed the tag and the equipment has been verified as safe to use. Electrical isolation is not difficult, so next time you need to move, clean or maintain equipment, ask yourself, has it been isolated? So in summary, do not remove clamps, do not remove tags. Ask a manager if you require tags.
Never take electrical safety lightly. It's a very important issue. Electricity must be respected at all times, and you have a really important role to play. We want our customers, visitors, contractors and crew to have a happy, healthy and safe experience.
Can I help you?
So, is this a new service counter?
Not much to eat around here. The real service is inside, where any time is Mac time.
So, you get all the dirty jobs, yeah?
Not really, we share it around a bit.
So would I be right in saying that the busier you are in there, the more rubbish you've got to put out?
You could say that, I guess.
And you've all got to do it?
You bet. We all got to do it.
Oh, well, I won't keep you. See you, mate.
There.
Thank you. Enjoy your meal.
Yeah, thanks.
Have you ever noticed that some people are really weird?
Why do you say that?
Well, like that guy that just left. He's been coming in here for the last week at the same time every day.
So what's wrong with that? You can eat Macca's anytime.
Yeah, it's not that. It's just that he sits in his car for like half an hour and just watches people. And he orders the same thing every time, junior burger, Coke and a fries. And he takes ages to eat it and then just disappears.
Don't be so suspicious.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. He doesn't look like a weirdo.
Robberies are usually executed after several days of surveillance. A friendly stranger can catch you off guard and find out information that you would not normally divulge. People who seem to have all the time in the world may even be cause for concern. They may very well be observing our security procedures. Be aware, and if you notice anything that you think is unusual, report it to your manager.
Just about that time, mate. She'll be out any minute.
Yeah, I reckon last week's look around just about to pay off.
Yeah, look at that. Right on time. Just like clockwork.
So much for security. Come on.
Let's do it. Come on, inside. Inside. Where's the manager?
Oh my God!
Don't anybody move! Don't anybody move! Don't push your luck. Where's the boss?
Take it easy, I'm the manager. Please don't hurt anybody.
I want the money, all of it, make it quick.
Please don't hurt anybody, okay? I'll take you to the money.
I want the money now. Come on,
I'll take you to the money.
Come on, will you? Time's money. In the safe, boss, come on. Stashing cash in there all day. Come on, boss. Don't anybody move. And remember, we've got the girl. Come on.
Please don't.
All right, come on, let's get out of here.
Our greatest concern with robbery is the possibility of injury to our customers and our staff. Undoubtedly, a robbery is a stressful situation for anyone to be placed in, and can certainly be unnerving for those involved. Even under these circumstances, there are positive things that you can do, and these guidelines are crucial to your safety.
Hey, I'm the manager. Everybody remain calm, please, and just do as you're told.
Above all, try to stay calm. Easy to say, but hard to do. Your heart will be pounding and you'll be frightened, but you must not panic.
We want all the money! We want it quick!
On command, do exactly as you're told and do not deviate from those instructions. Don't argue or hesitate when demands are made. React quickly and efficiently. The sooner the robbers' demands are met, the sooner they'll depart. Give the robbers everything they demand. Money and possessions are nothing compared with your safety and that of your workmates. Take notice of the robbers' clothing and physical features, their height, the way they speak. They may be slight or well built. They may have knowledge of fast food terminology, be familiar with the layout of the restaurant. They may even have keys. Observe as much as you can so that you can accurately describe them later. Try to observe the robber's method of escape. Take note of the type of car, colour, registration, and the direction in which they went. They may even have escaped on foot. Observe, but don't follow. Under no circumstances are you to pursue them. A robbery is a real possibility. By attending to some very simple matters, we can reduce the chances of one occurring. Make sure the corral door is closed and locked. Ensure that the back door is closed at all times. And do not take out rubbish after dark. In the event of a robbery or a distressful situation, McDonald's has qualified trauma counselling available. We should at all times maintain our restaurant security by being vigilant and aware of the goings-on, both inside and outside the store. Only rostered crew are permitted behind the counter during business hours. Off-duty crew are not permitted to enter the kitchen or counter areas without management permission. And we discourage you loitering before or after your scheduled work hours, or when picking up your roster information. Others who are not to be behind the counter include customers picking up orange bowls, delivery people, friends and relatives of employees and customers. Please notify the manager if a non-employee asks to gain access to the restaurant. Behind the counter is off-limits unless authorised by the manager. Access for crew should be via the customer doors, an approved access door, or the counter cut. The back door should never be used to gain access to the restaurant. The removal of rubbish from the store creates its own problems in the area of staff safety. In daylight hours, rubbish may be removed via the back door. The manager must be present when this door is open and may not give the restaurant key to a crew person. Once the crew person exits, the door must be locked and the crew must re-enter through the customer entrance. Boxes and other containers must be flattened to save space. Do not take rubbish out after dark. It is advisable to use portable rubbish bins to store rubbish until daylight hours.
My till is packed.
Yeah, I know, so is mine.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Have they emptied yours?
No.
All of the information in this video, and that in our printed training manuals, is confidential. It is a breach of security and can jeopardize the safety of our managers and crew to discuss with any unauthorized person any aspect of our security system. Crew and managers must never discuss the restaurant's cash at hand, money taken during trading, or security systems and procedures. If anyone inquires about cash or security, refer them to the manager. Any suspicious incidents must be reported immediately to the manager or your consultant.
Enjoy your meal.
Oh, hello. You're new, aren't you? I don't mean you.
In our business, we have a lot of cold, hard cash coming across the counter, and so the company has what's called cash control policies, which are strictly enforced. Ask your manager to explain your restaurant's cash policies thoroughly before you handle cash.
Is that clear now?
Yes, thanks, ma'am.
Great. Well, the next thing is for you to sign the cash register policy.
All crew members assigned to a cash drawer must sign a cash register policy. This indicates their understanding of the restaurant's cash handling procedures and confirms their agreement to abide by all the conditions of the policy. Once a cash drawer has been allocated to you, it becomes your responsibility to maintain its security. Ensure that you count the float before proceeding with transactions, as you will be responsible for any cash variances.
That'll be $12.50, thank you. From 20?
So busy, aren't you? It's incredible. Hot in here?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyway, better you than me.
There we are. That's $7.50 change. Thank you.
Didn't I give you a 50?
Let's look at that sequence again, because this is where the quick change artist performs his tricks.
That'll be $12.50, thank you. From 20?
The crew member has, in a loud and clear voice, nominated the amount of money handed over by the customer. This reinforces the amount from which change has to be given,
That's $7.50 change, thank you. Enjoy your meal.
and thwarts any attempt by a quick change artist who might claim another amount was given. The crew member places the note on the register ledge or tray. It must never be put into the till until the change is made. On handing the change to the customer, the crew person then places the note under the drawer and closes the till.
Didn't I give you a 50?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'll just check with the manager.
All sales must be rung up and paid for at the time of the sale. Once the transaction is completed, the cash drawer must be closed. A good trickster may attempt to confuse or distract you by questioning the amount of change given.
Didn't I give you a 50?
If this happens, call the manager. Drive-thrus pose an additional security risk. Crew working drive-through windows must be vigilant at all times. Windows should be kept closed between transactions. If an operator has to, for any reason, leave their window for more than the normal period of time it takes to serve a customer, then the window should be locked. For health control reasons, it is desirable to close the window to stop any unwanted insects from entering the store. No matter what task we undertake in our restaurants, we need to give that 100% effort every time. Our friendly atmosphere and secure environment make McDonald's a place for all the family to enjoy. We've built our reputation on it, and it's what our customers have come to expect. But it doesn't just happen. We all work hard to achieve and maintain our image. As you've seen, our systems and security measures have been put in place to help us all to achieve our goals. For us to succeed, we must maintain them and improve upon them to ensure that we have a safe work environment and a secure future for everyone at McDonald's.